Hey guys, welcome to WordPress Tips and Tricks. Today, we will explore the basics of Elementor's new container system for Page Builder. This is a short video that will show you the container size adjustments, content direction, wrap, differences between container and grid by features, and algorithm style, and some actual content text with container and grid. First, let's add a container to our page from the Flexbox option. From the controls, you can drag the width scroll bar around to change the content area. Here, the content width option is set to boxed, and it adjusts the content width area. But if you change it to full width, dragging the scroll bar not only changes the content width, but changes the container width as well. You can play around with it too. Let's add a grid below. The basic one is a double-part grid. Also for the grid, the content width settings are the same. It works just like how the Flexbox container works. And if you inspect the editor page, you will find out that both Flexbox and Grid have a similar data element type called container. They both are under Elementor section wrap. Yes, section did not disappear. If we stretch the console a bit, you can see eFlex and eGrid classes on the container and grid sections. You can still adjust the content area through the padding field in the Grid Advanced tab when you are in full width mode. But if you change the content width, the padding remains in action. That also stands for the boxed mode. Cleaning up the page now, let's add a container again inside. This time we will put some content inside it: a heading, image, text, and button. Now this is where the container gets interesting. From the layout controls, you can adjust the content width, and it works on all content inside the container. The best part, you can change the direction of the content to change their lineup. You want them in rows? There you go. In row, the content are auto-aligned to show everything within the content area, but they are not in their actual size when in rows. On the controls, if you enable content wrap, the elements will revert to their actual sizes and will line up accordingly. Select No Wrap to again change back. By default, No Wrap is auto-applied. Also, you can manually resize each item inside the container. They will also be automatically adjusted to predefined sizes. To shrink them, you can drag the edges a bit and the container shrinks. But to enlarge them, you would have to drag them to the maximum you can. But with each pull or push, the container width will change at a single step at a time. And there are 4 steps you will find. Just pulling a little won't make any change. Again, if you change the container from rows to columns, the manual adjustment will persist, but you can change the item alignment for the container. And if you go into the Advanced tab, you will see a new size option with grow and shrink properties. These 2 options are additional Flexbox controls that let the content auto adjust their spaces when changing the lineup. To actually see how they work, try editing each item separately and set the size to shrink or grow. For now, we are setting the heading to shrink and the image to grow. We'll choose none for the rest, too. Now watch this. Go into the container settings and change the width of the content area. You can see that the heading is shrinking down while making room for the image to grow bigger. The text and button remain the same size. In case you change the row to columns, you can see the heading and image overlapping each other. That's because of the shrink-grow options, along with custom widget sizes. Now you can switch to boxed mode and adjust the content width. It still won't affect the text and button widgets due to selecting none for the size options. Again, using the wrap, you can allow the items to grow to their actual sizes and fit into the screen in an orderly manner. Again, the heading and image are in line because already we changed their sizes manually. Now let's see how the grid works for the content. Let's create the highest number of grids from the selection. You can see the empty spaces within the grid. Each space can house a single widget or a single container. If you drop widgets on the grid, they stack up horizontally, like this. Unlike a container, you cannot combine multiple widgets on a grid simply. The options are also a bit different than container. There are columns and rows adjuster, justify, and align items options. With grids, you can't stack items vertically, but you can fill up the vertical space first by choosing column in AutoFlow. But you can put a container inside the grid and then stack the items inside the container as a column or row. Then you can change the columns and rows to get your preferred grid layout. And then continue using containers as long as you want to stack widgets. Again, if the container has manually resized elements and you change the direction to rows, make sure to turn on wrap to not break the layout. Also, just like containers, grids also let you put symmetrical row-column gaps between the items. And that's how you can take advantage of the Flexbox container and grid to design outstanding web pages easily. That's the end of the video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow our channel to get more tips and tricks videos. See you soon.